Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
What's poppin'?
What up, guys?
It's us.
Hope you guys are doing well. We are on almost episode 80. Yeah?
Very close.
Wow, 80 already.
Yeah,
I know,
almost
it's
80.
crazy.
I didn't even notice that.
So we have what you
We're
would
doing this
call...
we're like professionals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a catalog you could go back and listen to a lot
If
of stuff.
MGM ever wants to think about purchasing our catalog, email me personally.
That's right.
Today's a good one. I'm
Today
excited
is a
about
good
this
one.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is my own selection.
Okay.
There's no
Eric's own rich guy
yeah,
selection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no. This is not from anybody. This is just something I wanted to do for a long time, and this is Bitcoin.
Oh, I've been wanting to do this one too.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Bitcoin.
I've been
I'm
wanting
excited
to. I've been
about
wanting to own Bitcoin for a long
Yeah.
time. It's never did.
Digital currency, the new wave, the new everything.
Yeah, we gotta tell them. You gonna break it down? What?
Yeah,
the
we're gonna break it down.
Yeah, I was
Big
gonna say.
time.
Like,
What
we
the
gotta
fuck's
start with
Bitcoin?
that.
I thought what we would do is we would make sure everybody knows what Bitcoin is,
Okay.
Totally. Yeah.
what blockchain is,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the basics are, and then we can kind of talk
And it's
about.
like, like the purpose. Like, why does it even exist?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is it?
So, Bitcoin is a type of digital money that you can use over the internet. Unlike traditional money, which is issued and controlled by a government,
Correct.
Bitcoin is decentralized. You will hear that word many times.
Yep.
And all
Decentralized.
that really means is obviously in terms of the financial system, and like take America, all of our money is centralized. There's a central
Central
issuing authority who controls the value and the issuance of that
Yep.
money, which is the
Federal
Federal Reserve
Reserve,
Bank.
yeah,
And so
exactly.
that is the central monetary source of all of our income.
And every country has their own version.
Correct.
Yeah.
Most countries have most banking systems are centralized. Almost all of them are centralized. But decentralized meaning it is not governed and it is not controlled by any one entity. It's in essence the way that blockchain works is it is controlled by everyone. Everyone who owns it is part of the ownership and part of the authority which allows it to run.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And to give you a simplistic difference between the two, so during 2020, when all the businesses shut down, etc., our government, the U.S. government, and other governments out there decided to print more money to facilitate the shutdown of the country.
Well, they
Yeah.
were also shelling out Stevie checks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to facilitate like
Yeah.
one
What-
more week of groceries.
Yes.
But essentially, they decided to print more money. And you cannot do that with Bitcoin.
No. It cannot.
Now, just it's worth mentioning during that time they printed what's the percentage of money in circulation? I think it was close to like 40%.
Yeah,
right?
it's about 40%
Yeah.
over that time period. Yeah, 2020 to 2021. Yeah.
to 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
So massive.
Yeah.
Massive
So-
amounts of money pumped into the economy,
Yeah,
which
and-
just basically devalues our fucking
Devalues
dollar.
of money, causes inflation, and then causes the pricing of things to skyrocket.
This is why you're paying basically $1 million for a shack
Yeah,
nowadays,
yeah,
for a
that's
house
right.
to live in.
So, and if you don't know the basic concept of supply and demand, so if you have a pizza or if you have a pie, and there are, like for example, let's say Mickey Mantle signed baseballs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say there were one.
it would be worth a fucking bazillion dollars.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So then Mickey Mantle goes out and he signs 10 more.
It devalues it. In essence, the value becomes is equivalent to the amount of available
more
available
added. Yeah,
items.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So then let's say he goes out and signs 1,000 more.
Yeah, then they become less valuable.
That's right. If there are more of something, then the value of it is generally less.
Yeah,
Supply
correct.
and demand. Basic concept. You
Basic
know what I mean?
shit.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
So when your government prints more money, the value of the dollar that you have is less.
Yeah, look at Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
They have like they have like $10 billion bills.
Yeah.
Like
or even
legitimate.
if you go down and
How much is a cheeseburger? It's going to be about $1 billion.
Yeah, like 18 billion.
So this is not a dig on South America, but South America went through a major hyperinflation.
Yep.
No, of course, and
and-
a lot of almost all
yeah.
of South America, Venezuela,
Yeah.
fucking,
And not
Chile.
just recently, but Venezuela did recently, but even Chile and Argentina, et cetera, they went through that. So, for example, I went to Chile and I had a dinner and I sat at the dinner. It was a great dinner, phenomenal, la la la. And then I went to pay the bill and it was 16, right? But then I looked at closer, and it was 16, 500.
Okay. So
16,000.
So 16,500 Chilean pesos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's not a US $16.
Right.
It would be like 16,000 US dollars. But the value of it, because there was hyperinflation, out of control.
Yeah, I mean,
Does that make sense?
So how much was that in dollars?
20.
$20.
$20.
Wow.
and you see it
It
happened.
was probably like some fancy steakhouse.
It was fantastic. Yeah, it was
I mean,
fantastic.
Eric only rolls on the fancy steakhouse, like
Yeah, it was fantastic.
economy class.
Actually, it was a
Economy Plus.
Economy Plus.
It was actually a Peruvian. I don't know if you've had Peruvian octopus, but it's almost like a
I can't say that I
anyways,
have.
Like a whole story. We'll talk about it.
We don't got to
Yeah.
get into all that.
The same thing happened.
You peasants don't know about an octopus, okay? We don't got to get into all
I'm like,
that.
what's that? Isn't that a mythical
Yeah.
creature?
Yeah.
No, but the same thing happened before. Like, for example, before Italy adopted the euro system, Italy was on the lira, and like lira was just like worth fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd have like, coins 10,000 lira, and like it was just the value of the currency is so low that everyone has you get this exorbitant amounts. You even look at. It's not the same, but it's very similar in terms of like the equations of like yen.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Correct,
you have like
yeah.
100
Very
billion
much,
yen,
yeah,
but that's like
correct.
$1 million.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I know all about this. Like, my dad was a millionaire in Mexico.
Yeah.
Multiple times, but each time that there was a crash in the economy in the peso,
So upsetting.
it was
and it's like you're broke.
we're peasants. We're peasants again.
You're like, I made $1 million, but then that million bought
like
you Taco
$18.
Bell.
Yes. Taco Bell in Mexico.
Taco Bell in Mexico. Oh my god.
Sorry, that was.
You're like, oh no, I can't
that
even afford the
racist?
street tacos.
Was that racist?
I mean, I'm
No.
always gonna say you're
Yeah.
racist, so
White devil.
we pick on him. too
What
much.
devil?
Oh my god, Eric. Now they can see
El
you.
gringo.
They're like, gross.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure we understood some of the basic terms of digital currency and Bitcoin before we talk about conspiracies, because not everybody knows about it. So a couple of things, right? We already went over decentralized. So,
Correct.
so you guys understand
Basically,
that, yeah?
no one central bank is going to control this
That's right.
currency.
Exactly.
That's right. So then there's something called a digital wallet. So to use Bitcoin, you need a digital wallet. So this is like an app on your phone or a computer, and it's a series of numbers or letters that is your destination wallet.
In essence,
Yep.
it's like your own personal IP. In essence,
There you go.
like
Exactly.
that's like an identification protocol. It's what allows you to have your unique footprint that allows you to claim your digital
That's
currency.
your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So sending and receiving, when you want to send Bitcoin to someone, you enter Sean's Bitcoin address, which is like his email or his wallet number, etc. And the amount you want to send, the transaction is then verified by other computers.
And this is where you get into blockchain.
Yeah. And so that is blockchain, right? So thousands of computers around the world, they check the transaction of me sending $100 to him. They check and they verify. They check the log. They check the ledger, as they call it. And they make sure it's legit. They make sure it's, okay, this is Eric's wallet going to him. And they need multiple computers to do so.
Because it's like an individual. It's not like, oh, it's like just one thing is saying it. It's actually individually verified, so it's non-biased. It almost it makes it impossible to fake, impossible to fuck that system over, because it's independently verified by random. It just picks them at random. It picks random.
Okay.
It goes through random chains, and it's like, okay, this is now verified.
So depending on the cryptocurrency that you're using, usually it's about 7 to 10 verifications. So you're not lost. Remember the Boeing episode we did?
Yeah.
And we talked about like redundancy.
Oh yeah, they were like, at first it was the manager checks, and then it was like your homie checks.
Yeah.
Then it's like you just check it.
So now just imagine 7 to 10 stranger computers checking to make sure
just to
you're
verify
that your transaction is legit.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that is the system of blockchain.
It's like peace of mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now you've probably heard the word or concept of mining, right? And now mining is confusing. I've tried to explain this to children. It's very confusing because it's not actually.
It's not like Roblox.
Yeah, it's not like a guy like, hey.
It's not a physical thing.
Yeah, get my big pen out of here now. Yeah.
But it's the concept.
It's the
the
concept
concept
of
what
yes.
they're doing. Yeah.
So there are other computers or servers, etc., that are verifying your transactions.
Yeah.
And the way that they get paid is by a block reward. So when they verify so say Sean, say I'm sending him $100 for the beer or the water, there are other computers that are verifying our transaction on the ledger, the quote unquote the official ledger. Now your computer gets paid in a block reward
Per how many transactions you verify.
That's right.
So that's
Okay,
why
I didn't know that.
when
Okay.
people have
Good to
like
know.
they set up their giant mining rigs and there's all these computers, those computers are acting as part of the blockchain verifying
That's right.
verifying millions and millions and millions and millions of transactions, and based on how many transactions you verify, you get rewarded with.
That's right.
So
That's why the whole mining craze happened, because you would set up a computer. Like back in the day, the original miners were just your normal computer with your normal graphics card.
Yeah, regular.
And you would mine like 10 Bitcoin a day because of the value was so low.
Yeah,
I thought it had to do with like breaking some fucking code or some shit.
Well, there is a mathematical
it's
And they were like working all day long
Yeah.
trying to break a code, and the computer's like doing its thing, and then it finally finds an answer, and it's like you're rewarded with a Bitcoin.
yes, that is
the other-
that is deeper into how
that is the other
they
half of it.
verify.
Okay.
It's how the computer verifies. So the more
Okay.
computing power, the more you're likely to verify the transaction.
Okay.
Yeah. So nowadays, because the value is so high, you see these like massive 100,000 square foot mining farms, and they need all this computing power in order to win the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Tons
it's a
of energy.
mathematical. It's a
Tons of energy. It's
Yes.
like super
and it's
expensive to
hot.
keep it going.
You need air conditioning and all this sort of
Well, it's
thing.
also
Kind of like this studio.
like it's
We could be mining right now. I don't know. I'm
well
fucking
because
sweating my
if you
ass
think
off.
of like imagine like someone's doing a transaction of like, hey, I'm sending 1,000 bitcoins. It's like you're sending millions of dollars. It's not like they're gonna be like 2 + 2 = 4.
Totally.
Verified.
Right.
Send it. Fucking
So
send
there
it.
is a deeper cryptography classification that probably would go over the heads of me and,
Yeah, 100%,
and
yeah,
ourselves,
yeah.
right?
Okay,
And
alright.
we're gonna define the word cryptography in a second, and so that'll give you a little bit more like information about it, right? So that's mining, right? Now, with Bitcoin, there's 21 million Bitcoins total
That is the max.
ever.
Yeah.
Ever going to be created.
There's not like a new issue. It's like that's it.
And how many do we have in circulation right now?
It's about 18 million, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are something called block rewards, right?
Okay.
And it's what people are paid out on when they verify the transactions.
Okay.
Yeah. And every time, and you've probably heard of the concept of Bitcoin halving.
Yes.
A halving, right?
Yeah.
So-
We just had one.
Yeah, exactly. So every 4 years or so, give or take, this halving gets smaller and smaller.
Which basically means it's like they cut in half what's gonna be available.
Rewarded.
Yeah, the amount
Or
of
rewarded,
the amount
okay.
of rewards in Bitcoin given.
So basically, you could imagine it like this. You have a bunch of employees. You have 10,000 employees, and you're going to get paid X amount for finding the coin or finding the block.
Yeah.
Yeah? That is going to be slowly reduced over time because the value and the supply and demand is finite.
It's also because the supply once the supply, they're not going to keep giving out the same number
right.
of rewards when the supply is like there's 100 left.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
right.
not going to give
Yeah,
you out like
Exactly.
here's 10 bits.
Yeah, exactly.
So then what do all these like computers in these warehouses do if they're not going to get a transaction to verify
Well,
Yeah.
the way
and
Eventually-
then get rewarded?
Well, eventually it's going to end in decades.
no, but also
What do you mean?
no, he's
Like,
saying
the rewards will
he-
end-
He's saying like after all Bitcoin is in circulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea behind it is that every individual everyone who owns it will be a part of the blockchain, and in order to keep the ecosystem alive, you have to be there verifying. Like, in order for the ecosystem to work, everyone's doing it for everyone.
But then you're not rewarded at that point.
No, because then it's just an ecosystem of currency.
Okay.
And in order to keep that alive, in order to keep it valuable, you have to be verifying transactions. Because if no one's verifying transactions, the Bitcoin
Why would I want to keep verifying transactions? I'm not getting rewarded.
Well, do you want your Bitcoin to still have value?
But you got to think of it.
But if I'm just in it for the investment and I have this warehouse doing this shit
no, but the thing is, like,
I'm gonna shut that shit
but
down.
that's gonna be we're talking 50 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Jorge, think of it like say like you invested this money. Say you invest this money to get Bitcoin. Now you have Bitcoin. Don't you want to keep the value of that Bitcoin worth something?
I just fucking pay Robinhood a couple dollars to get some Bitcoin, and that's all I know.
He's like, fuck blockchain, in my bread.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good question. But basically, we're talking decades.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like tomorrow.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's decades.
Okay.
Now you got to imagine though, like back when Bitcoin was being mined on people's gaming computers in 2010.
Yeah.
The value of the Bitcoin was 50 cents.
Yeah, it was like dirt.
So
when did you first find out about Bitcoin?
I was working at a company, and it was 2012, and an employee, and I don't know if he listens to this show, but his name's Gabe.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, we should buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, and it was like at $50.
He'd be literally a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like actual
And
billionaire.
we decided not to.
You were like, fuck that. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, we
Idiot.
decided not
What about
to.
you?
Yeah.
I found out this shit like fucking 5 years ago,
Okay.
dog. Like,
I first heard about it when it was like 2017-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. So
What was the price?
I think it was around at that time, I don't know, like $17 or so. It was less than 50.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like crazy high.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people were telling me like, no, this is the next thing, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't
Shut the
fucking
fuck up.
get it.
I know, it
What
doesn't
the
make no
fuck is a
sense.
cold wallet and a hot wallet and a fucking this
Cold
and that?
hot wallet.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is way too like
Yeah.
confusing. Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? But god damn it.
Well,
I wish I would've
hopefully this is a learned episode
Yeah, right.
because we're gonna go over all those terms real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go over that.
But just to make sure, like, you got to understand is that the rewards get smaller and smaller, but the value goes higher and higher.
Exactly.
Because there's scarcity. So like we were just saying,
That's
supply
right.
and demand.
That's right. So maybe in 2015, it was like 64 Bitcoin per reward.
Oh, okay.
But now it's 6.
Okay.
And then in 3 years, it's going to be 3.
Mm.
And that, you know what I mean? But the price is
Fucking $70,000.
$70,000 for one.
So we can compare this to like the current system, which is, well, it was supposed to be backed by gold.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
gold is supposed to be finite, right? Supply and demand. You're not gonna have unlimited gold, right?
I mean, there's so much that has not been mined, but
It's true.
It's-
But that was
granted,
the
it's
idea,
not
I
unlimited,
guess,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then it gets to a point where if we were to find like this gold mine and it had like 10 times what we have right now, well then it's like, oh, well we could just print more money. So then the value of the
That's
thing
right.
goes down.
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, now,
this you
but now there's no
can't.
gold standard.
Yeah, but now there's
Now here's the thing. Now obviously I'm a little bit pro Bitcoin, but
a little bit.
you can't print more.
No.
So that's the
can't.
beautiful
No.
part about it.
It's not like Ethereum where they can just like technically they can make more if
Yeah.
they wanted to, or
You
like
can't.
Oh, that's a whole.
Or
It's
like
not like
Solaris
it's
or
not
any
like
of the other ones like
it's not like the government though. It's not like your dad who made all this money and then all of a sudden the fucking politician
they're like we
said
need a little bit
fucking
more.
print it out Mexico. You know what I mean? And then your
Say it again?
dad's fucked. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So a couple other terms we want to make sure we understand. One is a hard fork compared to a soft fork.
I have
no
no
idea.
idea.
I've never
Okay.
even heard this before in my
yeah,
life.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, so you have probably seen that there are, I don't know, 1,000 different coins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a million.
Why?
There's Boob Coin.
Boob
by the
Coin,
way, you
baby!
guys are watching.
Yeah.
Eric started Boob Coin, and we need some backup.
I know. I wish he
I
started.
need Boob Coin to the
With
moon.
Boob Coin to the moon. I wish he started.
I did
Boob
not
Coin.
start Boob
I
Coin.
would be like,
should.
I would
I
have
did not
a
start it.
billion shares
Yeah.
of Boob Coin right now.
So there's a reason why there's all these different coins and there's all these alterations. So just imagine the Bible.
Oh, and it's like
Okay.
they just made like there was the original,
Yes.
and then they're like,
This is the
"This is
exact
the New
example.
Testament, baby."
100%. So how many different variations are there of the
I think
Bible
there's like
religions.
80 plus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is what
Wow.
the crypto market is.
They're literally just trying to duplicate what happened with Bitcoin.
Do they even do anything different? Like,
Yes.
Yes,
They
each
do
of them
everything
do
different.
something different.
okay.
Each of them
Or
has
is it
their
just like a new
own-
name? Like
No,
fucking
each of them has their
Dogecoin,
own-
Boopcoin, and
You know, so there's
there's-
something so a hard fork. Let me just
Yeah.
say
Do
it.
that, and then we'll get into that. Yeah.
So just imagine you have a path, right? And a
Okay.
path which is a ledger, and it's a bank ledger. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you have Sean and I did $100. You and I did this. We went to fucking Chipotle. We got double meat. We did that.
Yeah.
And all these things are forever recorded on this ledger.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have a timeline. So then let's say a bunch of people go, you know what? This needs to be optimized and this needs to be changed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a fork in the road.
Okay.
And we're going to keep the ledger up until the date of the fork. And we're going to go off into another road, right? Which is Bitcoin Cash. You ever heard of Bitcoin Cash?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Okay, there's a bunch of different ones that are like this, right?
So there's
they-
like a bunch of
they
different
took a
variations
fork.
of Bitcoin.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
and they took a fork and they said, oh, well, it's too slow. So we're going to speed it up by raising the data limit on the transactions.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like
blah,
something
blah, blah.
blah, blah, blah.
Technical.
Yeah.
So they change it and they create a fork. And if it's a hard fork, then that literally is a new ledger from that date forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah?
Cool.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what a hard fork is.
And then they just name it something else.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Lite, Bitcoin King, Bitcoin Tits.
Yeah, but what
Bitcoin whatever.
what about like
Yes.
those all, like the Dogecoin, for example?
Yeah.
Same shit.
Same
Just different
same-
name. Different name.
Now,
No.
you
Same
can
concept,
also
but different
create,
name.
you can also mimic it, like Litecoin, for example. Litecoin was created by a person named Charlie Lee. And at the beginning of Bitcoin, he was like, whoa, this is amazing, but it's too slow. So he copied the code and created his own coin at the same time,
Okay.
essentially.
And like there's what's called like there's utility coins.
Yeah.
And like a utility coin is like something that actually, if there is a service, there is a utility for it. Like so there's a
Yeah.
use. And then there's like Dogecoin, which is purely meme. And it does nothing. There is nothing that
absolutely
it does. It does
nothing.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
There is no usability. Whereas like other coins actually have like back end usability and like
Yeah.
the back end framework to do different
I
things.
feel like this is giving me like 2017 vibes again, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking
Or
overwhelming.
he's like,
Fuck it.
conspiracy.
But I
No,
think
and
I
some-
think that's a lot of people that they just don't get it. And
It's
they're
hard-
Like,
yeah, it's a lot. It's a-
fuck
it's a
this
lot.
Shit. Like I don't
Yeah.
get it. I'm out.
But I figured we would go over the basics and try to like
Yeah,
make
that's-
sure
that's
we
good.
understand the concept before we even talk about the conspiracy of it, right?
Yeah.
'Cause,
Totally.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So-
We're getting there.
So then there's something called a soft fork. So the hard fork is where you do it's a whole new ledger, it's a whole new trend, like a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Soft fork is when the developers just say, hey, we need to do an upgrade. And we stay on the same path.
But
we
just
stay
like a
on
little
the
bit better.
Yeah. It's a little upgrade.
little,
That's it.
little tweak.
So those are the differences. That's soft.
And it's probably
soft-
like what they
soft
did, like
fork and-
because I remember at one point like transaction costs.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to like exchange like $10 worth of Bitcoin, it would cost you like $400.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
It doesn't
It's
work.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
it
why am
doesn't
I
work.
doing this?
Yeah, it doesn't work. So like so for example, like me sending you money at dinner, say we go out to dinner.
And then you're gonna cash at me.
Yeah, it doesn't work to send a Bitcoin when it's a $20 transaction fee.
Yeah.
So they created these offshoots that were
Farms
like,
gotta get
this is-
paid.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Okay.
So that, yeah,
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
question?
Got it, got it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
We're good.
Okay, good. So now we can kind of talk about Bitcoin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we get to the good shit.
Okay, Bitcoin story began in the chat rooms of the internet.
Of course, where everything begins.
Mm,
It's like
amidst-
Reddit.
Called Reddit. Yeah.
Reddit, the genesis of life. Of
It was amidst the turmoil of the 2008 financial crisis.
course, because everyone's like, fuck the financial systems.
Yes.
An unknown entity using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And that was on October 31st, 2008.
Okay.
This is right in the heart of the crash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Right?
it was right around March, April-ish, May that they had the
Everything
real
went
big
everything
crash
went
in
tits up.
2008.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like,
So
Lehman
if-
Brothers fails.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
so
that's
if you
what
don't
I'm-
know what a white paper is, it's basically just a mission statement of a technology.
Okay.
So like it's just going over, this is the technology, the purpose.
Like the Jerry
how
Maguire
does
of
it work?
Bitcoin, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's considered a white paper. And so he wrote the white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Okay.
Yeah. The document detailed a decentralized digital currency that promised to eliminate the need for trusted third parties like a bank. Nakamoto's vision was radical, a financial system that operated on cryptographic principles rather than institutional trust. Okay?
Yep.
So now cryptography. What is cryptography? Cryptography is essentially how to encode and make a secure communication from A to B.
Yeah, it's like an encryption.
There you go.
Yeah.
100%. Okay?
I mean, same shit that like WhatsApp or like Signal
It's encrypted.
Yeah.
uses.
In essence, it's like there's a code
Yeah.
that you need to break in order
That's
to
the
access
basic-
that data.
That's the basic definition of cryptography. Yeah?
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not a cryptographer. I don't, I'll get a lot of shit for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, there you go. That's the basic definition of it. Yeah. On January 3rd, 2009, Nakamoto mined the first block of Bitcoin, known as the Genesis
I
block.
love that the Genesis block's like fucking, oh, it's like a fucking movie.
So he inscribed the now famous message, "The Times, 03 January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks."
That sounds cryptic as fuck.
Yeah.
Chancellor?
So what he's
Who's the
talking about
fucking
though, what he's
chancellor?
talking about though is, remember in 2008 there was the crash,
Yeah.
and then 2009 is when they started bailing out all the
Oh, of
banks.
course.
Okay.
All the banks that fucked everybody over, they're like,
Right?
we need you.
Yeah.
Come
And
So
all, and
this
all
was
the
a-
CEOs getting their bonuses.
Yeah.
I know, right?
millions of
Golden,
dollars.
Yes.
golden parachutes.
So this was a direct commentary on the instability of traditional banking system and underscored the impetus behind Bitcoin's creation and the genesis.
I mean, if there was ever a great time to roll this
I
out,
mean-
I mean, it was like he was waiting. He was like,
Wasn't
yeah. He was like finger on
I
the
mean,
trigger,
the
like, come
timing-
on, baby.
The timing is incredible,
yeah.
honestly. But I mean, maybe the timing of it was created the urgency to do it.
Or maybe he like saw like the writing on the wall, like, okay, shit's
Yeah.
gonna go tits up. Like I should probably. There's
Yeah.
probably a better way.
Yeah.
Or there's a more sinister theory.
I know.
We'll get into it.
I know. We will.
So initially, Bitcoin only attracted the group of cryptographers. So it was like
The
very
nerds. The nerds like
yeah,
Eric.
it was very
Eric
like
and-
Eric's like,
yeah.
he's like, I need a loan for a computer.
So it was very like enthusiasts on a chat.
Of
board,
course,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. Oh, we created this thing.
Kind of like
Yeah.
Guess on like
the
four,
fanatics, so the roaring kitty
Yes.
fanatics.
the guys on like 4G.
No,
and
no,
the-
no, no,
No, it was like the
no,
guys
no.
on like 4chan, like deep in the
Yes.
fucking interwebs.
Yeah,
Like, oh
yeah,
shit.
Oh, okay.
So early adopters were driven by ideological beliefs in decentralization and privacy rather than financial gain. It was more like give the money back to the people.
Yeah, and it's also
Okay.
yeah.
Compared to I'm rich, man. you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
that
yeah,
whole
yeah.
like that whole culture, right?
It was
So-
also like impossible for you to send like the only way for you to send money to people is
Yeah,
through
through
a
the
bank.
bank. Yeah.
There's no other way. It's like you can't even for example, even like Cash App and Venmo, there's
Yeah,
there's
they
limits.
track all that.
They track it all, and there's limits, and that's still going through financial systems.
Right.
It's-
I can't cash up you fucking $100,000.
Yeah,
like,
if I
$1
want to send
million.
it, and like you're gonna pay you're paying whatever the bank's transaction fee. But it's all like like how do you stay off the grid and like still get money?
Yeah,
to-
yeah. Makes sense.
So Nakamoto continued to work on the development of it and to like improve the Bitcoin technology alongside another small group of contributors. It was all via email and chat boards and that sort of thing. By 2010, Nakamoto handed over the network key and the control of the code to Gavin Andresen,
Who's that?
who was a prominent developer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In May 2010, Bitcoin's first real-world transaction took place when Laszlo paid $10,000, 10,000
I know that's
Bitcoin
for 2 pizzas. Yeah.
for 2 pizzas.
Oh shit.
I know. Remember that guy getting interviewed, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever, fucking whatever."
Now,
Like,
now
what am I
keep
gonna-
in mind, at that
I
time,
try not to think about it.
Yeah, right. dude.
Bob.
Like
but
that would have been me in the bedroom reading a book with some barbiturates, some fucking some liquor.
Yeah.
Ugh.
every night.
I know. Like, please, just end it.
now keep in mind, at the time, you could mine like 100 Bitcoin a day.
I know, and also Bitcoin was worth like 2 cents. It was
Exactly.
like fucking
yeah,
dirt.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the value of those pizzas was like $50-$60
Yeah.
Okay.
for 10,000.
Can you imagine?
But now it's upsetting
I
because
wish-
it would
Of
have been
course.
it would have been billions of dollars.
Oh,
or
billions,
whatever. I
yeah.
don't know the math, but
10,000 times 70,000. It's like
I don't even want to do that.
I know. It's like there's too many
Our
zeros.
calculator's not going to work. On
I think
that.
it's like 7
Seven.
billion. I think it's 7 billion.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
No,
No, I think it's
10,000.
700 million.
10,000 times
700 million.
70,000.
700 million.
700 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
700
that was close.
million.
1 0 off.
So this event marked the first transaction in the real world.
Mhm.
Because before there's no marketplace, there's no Coinbase,
Yeah.
there's no place to do anything. There's no
No.
eBay, there's no nothing. It was the first time. It was like a message board where it was like, "Hey, I'll give you 10,000 for this. You give me like a
Couple pizzas.
22 lever action. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's
He's like,
that whole
cool,
thing.
sold.
So
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
I know. I would love to be like that pizza guy now. He's like, fucking, fucking best of my life.
So Satoshi Nakamoto, though, is one of the more intriguing parts of the story because he created this under that pseudonym,
Yep.
And fucking vanished.
but his identity remains a mystery. Despite extensive investigation and speculation, no one has proven who Nakamoto is. The person or group behind this name has remained elusive, and he disappeared in 2011.
You sure it's not this Gary Anderson guy who gave the key to you?
Yeah.
He's
Maybe.
like, he gave the key to Gary Anderson. And then he's-
So Nakamoto first appeared on the scene in 2008 with the publication of the white paper. He laid out the fundamental principles of peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The genius of Nakamoto's design lay in solving the double spend problem without the need for a central authority. So
What?
it was the mining
Yeah.
that was the genius of it. Was like it was the redundancy. It was
yeah, it's like, hey, you
the-
verify the transaction
Yes.
and you get a little kickback from it.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. Okay. In April 2011, Nakamoto sent his last known email to a fellow Bitcoin developer stating he moved on to other things.
All right, he's probably like the fucking chairman of the fucking Federal Reserve Bank right now. Like,
Since then, Nakamoto vanished. He's left no traces of his true identity, and nobody knows who he is.
Wow.
I mean,
Of all the, that's like the best story of all. Like,
he's like, I leave you with this. Goodbye.
isn't that insane?
That's weird.
It's a little bit insane.
It's insane because it's now a multi-trillion-dollar market.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah. So Nakamoto's
I'm super
disappearance.
surprised like no one's that come out on their deathbed. I'm Satoshi Nakamoto.
No, some people have.
I bet they. I know.
people have,
Go
yeah,
DB
of
Cooper.
course.
We're gonna go.
I am DB Cooper and Satoshi.
We're gonna go over a couple of these people, but so Nakamoto's disappearance fueled speculation, intrigue. Several theories have emerged over the years about his identity. Some believe Nakamoto is a single individual, while others suspect that he's a group of people.
He's like a.
Others suspect that he's a group of scientists from the government trying to create a one
Yep.
world order.
Yeah, that's the one I've heard. Maybe Satoshi's like it's like Fight Club. It's like they're all fucking Tyler Durden.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
all fucking,
Right?
you know. I am Satoshi.
So here are the top, I guess you would call them the top possibles of Satoshi.
Okay.
Yeah. One is Hal Finney. Hal Finney is a renowned cryptographer and the first person to receive a transaction from Nakamoto. So it is verified that he received the first transfer.
So like, of course, smartly you probably
he's
send it
part
to
of it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
he's
like,
part of it.
Let's see what happens here.
So even if he's not Satoshi, he's part of it
yeah.
Okay.
because he received the
He
first.
somehow
one. Yeah.
knows him somehow.
Yeah. Finney was heavily involved in the early development of Bitcoin and had the technical expertise to do it. However, Finney consistently denied being Nakamoto and maintained that he was simply an enthusiastic supporter. Now, he died a few years ago, and that's the end of it.
Yeah,
How,
yeah,
about,
thank
how,
you.
how did he die?
I think it was Parkinson's,
Okay.
and then he slowly
Fine.
digressed into just being in a wheelchair,
Okay.
and then
He didn't. He
It wasn't
he
like-
wasn't like alcohol and barbiturates.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't like
no,
reading
yeah.
a book.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
he was
actually
standing
kind of a
straight
sad
up.
story because I bet he's a billionaire right now,
Well, he would have.
or his wallet would have.
Yeah,
been.
his wallet's
Yeah.
a billionaire.
Yeah.
His wallet.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like he
100%,
just
for sure.
It's kind of a sad story.
It's kind of crazy how it adds to the scarcity because that Bitcoin is lost.
Oh yeah,
And-
if you don't
and
have
tons
if
of
you don't have
other
the key, you're
Bitcoins.
fucking it's dead. It
Yeah.
does
It's
cease
dead.
to exist.
Yeah.
So then that means like the scarcity is even more.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
that's wild is like you see all these like random wallets will come online after 10 years,
I
and they have like
know.
$800 million worth of Bitcoin. And they're like, what the fuck?
Another one is Nick Szabo. He's a frequent mentioned name, and he's a computer scientist and cryptographer known for his work on digital contracts and currency. His creation of BitGold, a precursor to Bitcoin, shares many of the similarities of Bitcoin's design. So there was another digital currency created earlier. It's called
Interesting.
BitGold.
Just didn't catch on.
It just didn't catch on.
okay.
Yeah. So, and some people say, oh, we've analyzed his writings and it's very similar and that sort of thing. But
Okay.
there you go. Dorian Nakamoto. This one's hilarious. This is in 2014. A Newsweek article claimed that Dorian Nakamoto, a Japanese American living in California, was the creator of Bitcoin. The article pointed to various circumstantial pieces of evidence, but Dorian denied any involvement, saying he never even heard of Bitcoin until his name was involved.
This
Now,
is
he's
like,
kind of like an older,
this is like a random dude. Like, what
Yeah,
the fuck are you talking
and he's
about?
kind of like an older man, and his name's Dorian Nakamoto. But it's hilarious because the media, when it took off originally,
They're like anonymous source.
Yes.
He is the one. Like,
yeah, so they were like, Dorian's the guy, just because he happens to have Nakamoto.
he doesn't even own a computer. He's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about?
I don't buy it. He seems super aloof and
It's like,
kind of
this is like a dude.
yeah, that sort of thing. The other one is Craig Wright. Now, most people in the crypto markets hate Craig Wright because he constantly says publicly that he is the creator.
Oh, so everyone's like, bullshit.
Yeah.
He's the
Yeah.
guy that you're talking about, like on the deathbed, but he's not even on his
I
deathbed.
mean, he's just alive. He's like,
He
I
literally-
am him.
No, he constantly says, "I am him."
What if he actually is? And he's like, please believe me. I swear. I did it. Like, they're like,
He
shut
is-
up,
so-
fucking loser.
So here's the weird part about it. He has provided evidence that that people suspect that he doctored to prove that he's him because he said he wanted to get the keys to the original wallet.
Oh, how much is in
And he went to court and it was determined that it wasn't him,
Oh,
but he
shit.
continues to say that it was him.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you. I am him.
I'm a patsy.
Just give me that trilly. Just give me that trilly.
yeah, exactly.
I swear. I'm in.
Most people think it's pretty absurd, and he's kind of like a guy just
Just trying to get paid.
trying to get paid.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So then, of course, then there are the conspiracies, and we'll get to the end on the
Yeah,
conspiracies.
read the last one. What's the last one on there?
Well, the other theory is that it's the government finally.
Here we
finally,
go. Now we're
after-
getting somewhere.
Yeah.
After decades going, this is the one world. Like they couldn't do it with the euro, right? Like because they
Not the
tried
euro.
To,
You mean the Amero?
well, they tried to make the euro like the euro
okay.
is the
That's
a
another one, yeah.
European
Unit. Like,
currency over like what 15 countries.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something crazy.
Yeah.
And so the idea of the conspiracy of the government is that they are creating a one world,
Well, there's
new
another.
world order.
There's another conspiracy about that too, but I will wait.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wait to the end.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go over a couple of things on the timeline, so you guys are caught up to present day.
Okay.
And so in 2001, there was something called the Silk Road. You
Oh,
ever
yeah.
heard of the
Oh,
Silk
yeah,
Road?
yeah.
Yeah, that's where people
Yeah.
are buying fucking like heroin and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
so this
fucking
is
lines.
Ross Ulbricht, and he was under the pseudonym Dead Pirate Roberts.
Love it.
And he created, I mean, it actually made sense, which was before 2011, there was nowhere that there was no marketplace.
No.
There was no place to,
To use cryptocurrency.
yeah, exactly. So there was nowhere to do it. So he created something called the Silk Road,
Okay.
right? And the Silk Road, unfortunately,
This became like the black
he-
market.
Yeah,
Like,
he took
fucking-
it too far, and he said anything.
Yeah, whatever you want.
There's like a whole
Anything.
movie about it, right?
Yeah, there's a whole
Yeah.
movie, and I think it's called Silk Road.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was making millions in a day and crashing in this, but he was also selling Uzis,
Dude, selling
And,
everything.
Drugs.
drugs,
fucking
anything.
Anything.
So it was taking freedoms too far,
Yeah, it was like way too much.
Yeah.
right? So it was like,
There's obviously a limit of what you
Yeah.
should be selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in
Well,
2013,
freedom of Bitcoin, but you don't have freedom of selling.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
yeah, like
prostitution
human
and
rights.
guns.
Like, fucking-
yeah, yeah.
So in 2013, the FBI shut down Silk Road and arrested him, seizing 144,000 bitcoins in the process.
Oh, the government's like, we're gonna need that.
Yeah.
So that was a massive hit to the Bitcoin world, and the price crashed, and there was no more market.
144,000 bitcoins. That's like over 10 billion.
Yeah.
That's almost
So-
that's almost 20
Well,
billion.
the hip is like it just got associated with this like
That's right.
underground fucking
Dirty,
black market,
dirty coins.
Yeah.
And, this
Dirty
is, yes.
dirty
This is
coins.
a drug thing. All the
War on
financial-
drugs, man.
all the financial analysts are like, this is for criminals.
Yeah.
This currency is not real and it's for criminals. Yeah.
Well, the media, financial
the media, yeah.
just pushing that
Yeah.
narrative. But anyway,
Trust
we'll
your
keep,
banks.
We'll
Trust
keep
your
going.
banks.
Yeah, exactly.
Open an account.
So then going forward a little bit, there was an exchange, like a marketplace. So they started to kind of build up and get into marketplaces. The price started to rise. It was all great. Everybody was making money. And one of the earliest exchanges was called Mt. Gox. And it was originally a platform for trading magic cards.
Fuck yeah.
Magic the
I
Gathering.
I used to love playing Magic.
But
Oh,
it was
yeah?
repurposed
yeah.
for Bitcoin by
Nerd.
trading and
I am.
later sold. At that time, Mt. Gox handled 70% of all transactions for Bitcoin.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But in 2014, it was hacked.
Oh fuck. God damn it. Like all good things gonna
Yeah.
come to an end. Like,
It was hacked, and they admitted and they filed for bankruptcy, and approximately 850,000 Bitcoin were stolen, which was about $500 million at the time.
oh my god, that is like literally like $70 billion right now.
I want to know.
So it caused a
Hate it,
collapse, a massive drop, and it actually put Bitcoin into the darkness. Like it put Bitcoin into a dark
Yeah, the dark,
What-
the
two
dark.
or 3 years.
What year was this?
2014.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't really have the prices with me, but essentially it
I
put
have
it
them right
into
here,
the
actually.
dark.
Let's see. Hold on.
2014.
2014. Yep, that's when it actually was the first crash. You can see here. We
Yeah.
can put this graph up for you guys.
Yeah,
but,
we'll put up.
so
on
I
TikTok.
guess it was like about
$1,000.
No,
No, dude, it was like maybe like 20 bucks.
Oh, okay.
20, 30
And then
bucks.
what did it crash to?
That's when
No,
it crashed.
that's when it crashed.
Oh, what was
2014.
it up to?
It was over
Oh.
1,000. It was
It
12,
was.
it was spiked at 1,200.
Yeah.
So just imagine
Yeah.
you have 10 at 1,000.
You're like,
and you have
killing
10 grand,
it!
And it goes down to $20.
And you're like,
that
have-
hurt.
That is like 90%, 95%. Anyways, yeah.
That's the story of my life, though. Every time I fucking buy this shit,
Just-
it's always at the
tanks.
top.
Just literally-
Yeah. So after 2014, Bitcoin's narrative began to shift. Venture capitalists started to flow into Bitcoin startups. It became like that from a marketing standpoint. It became the gold, like the
gold
gold
rush,
of
baby.
digital currency gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just started to grow. It started to grow. The technology started to evolve in 2017 with increase like upgrades, speed, capacity. They started doing forks. That's when Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin SVE, all these
all the fucking
forks
shit.
started
yeah.
to happen,
Yeah.
etc. Right? And so that's also when it started to get regulatory scrutiny,
Of course.
and legal status.
Of course, the man's gonna want to get his little,
Of
get a little
course.
taste.
I
You know,
can't.
it's
I
like-
can't tax this.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
What's
what do you
happening here?
mean?
So right now,
I need my 2% transaction fee,
Yes.
sir.
So right now, it's not really dubbed a currency, but it's dubbed an asset. It's a difference because you're paying more taxes on your gains.
Yeah, capital gains tax.
Yeah.
You're
So
not. Yeah, you're not.
there's
You're not,
all these
you're not paying
legal-
like income tax. Like,
Yeah, there's all these legal ramifications of it. So you have on one side, you have the conspiracy and the people who are, I guess, are financial leaders who kind of consider Bitcoin to be a criminal's haven.
But I mean, nowadays, not now. Like
Nowadays, it's
now,
getting
now
less
they're all
and
like,
less and less and
they're
less
like, buy this
and
shit
less
up.
and less and less and less. But
It
here's
did
the,
start that way though.
here's the point: is in a bank transaction, the government can track anything above 10 grand, or what is it, 5
Yeah,
grand?
10
Wait,
grand.
anything above 10 grand
grand
can
be
be
registered.
Anything under 10
Yeah.
grand is flagged, and like they'll actually flag it.
Cryptocurrency, no,
Doesn't matter. Nothing can be seen.
it's all hidden.
But it's also like you look at like what, for example, everyone uses credit cards, and this is the great fucking play by the financial systems. Everyone uses credit cards. Now, look, every credit card you're paying, like most places who take credit cards, well, almost all places take credit cards have to pay processing fees.
Yeah.
To process that money. And while it's a small percentage, 1% to 2%, sometimes 3%, like 3% of a fucking billion transactions a day.
Yes.
It's like crazy amounts of money.
That's why Visa is one of the top.
It's so
stocks,
much
right, in the
fucking
finance,
money.
I guess.
It's crazy amounts of money. So it's like obviously you want to control. You want to control the use and how it can be used.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
it's so much money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Bitcoin's journey from an obscure white paper for 0.0005% of a coin or,
Yeah, right.
or a price has gone global. It's a digital asset and it's turned into a multi-trillion-dollar industry. The identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is a mystery still. But what's strange or not strange about it is you can still see his wallet.
How much is in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Do
you
you
can
know how much
go-
is in his
You
wallet?
can Google what his wallet is, and you can go see it. And it
So
hasn't moved.
did he have to
It's
publicize that or
hundreds
whatever?
of billions of dollars.
Wow.
And it's just sitting there.
He doesn't have to, but it's a.
But
public,
he did. But he did.
That's the whole point
that's
of
how we're
Bitcoin.
able-
It's a public ledger.
Yeah, it's public ledger.
Yeah, but how do you know that's his? Is my point.
It's the-
How do
he
I know
started-
that's yours? How do
The
I know
reason
it's
why is because
Sean's?
he did the first block.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You
you
can
can
see it.
you go on the ledger.
Yeah,
and
this
he's
is
the
the
first.
first
He's the
dude.
first
True,
one.
true,
Yeah.
true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Number one.
Okay.
So and it hasn't
Hundreds
moved.
of billions.
I
of
mean,
dollars.
Well, and that's the only
We'll
reason they
verify.
That's the
it,
only
but-
reason they know it's his. But like otherwise, like for example, like you'll see wallets that'll come online, and there's people who track wallets that become active, and you don't know who it is because it's just a random string
Right,
of
well,
numbers.
and that's part
but
of the
yeah, the anonymity,
benefit.
and they'll be like, oh hey, this person has X amount of dollars, just fucking came active, but you have no fucking clue who it is.
They just say another whale.
Yeah,
came
another
on-
whale, but you
came
knew
on the
it was
scene.
Satoshi because it was like the number one.
Of course.
So Satoshi's wallet is 600,000 Bitcoin,
Wow.
which is estimated today around 50 billion.
Oh my god.
I am Satoshi. Surprise! I'm gonna need Gary to give me the network key back.
But you see, like, it hasn't moved because you can see every transaction.
So he hasn't even sold one.
Watch it like literally like December 17th, 2024. It's like Satoshi sells like liquidates
Right.
all Bitcoin.
Right, so then the question becomes, does he have such moral fiber of his vision of the white paper,
That he can't do like
or
even-
is he dead?
or did he ever really exist?
So, in other words, does he have diamond hands?
The original diamond
The
hands
original.
Satoshi, like
That's right.
little-
No, that's right.
the original.
I mean,
diamond.
that
He's waiting till it hits
let's
100K.
let's assume he's alive, right?
Okay.
I think it could be that.
He's
I
like
think
going 100K, baby.
That-
he knows it's going to go into multiple hundred thousands eventually.
And then he's the richest man in the universe. and
Well,
he's like fucking.
I mean, yeah, no, that's a good point. Like,
He's like,
wh-
where's
what
the
are you gonna do with another 20 billion? I already got 50.
It's,
like,
it's so
but-
much. It's
With
such
so
an
much fucking
unconscionable
money.
amount of money.
Okay, but
so
what happens?
so you're telling me he's never sold even one? Yeah. So it's either it's got to be lost.
I mean,
it's got to be
the
lost.
original transactions are there, meaning he did send some.
Yeah, but then that was after that.
But that was like you could see it,
was
in
like
the
test.
emails, and he
Yeah.
said, "I sent this to you,"
Yeah.
or like
Like,
there's-
check it, check
there's-
your wallet.
And
yeah.
that's when it was like at the beginning
Yeah,
stages. Yeah.
that's right.
Oof.
Also, another question posed: what happens if it moves?
People start panicking.
Fucking crash!
Oh, hell yeah.
Can you
I didn't
imagine?
Oh hell yeah.
Satoshi
imagine?
just sold all of his Bitcoin. Everyone's like, like
Are you kidding? Can you
Bitcoin
imagine?
goes to literally
Well, that's
zero
like
now.
the GME guy. He starts selling.
I know.
Oh,
right?
it's
Right?
fucking
Everybody's
ridiculous.
gonna start
Tough.
selling with him.
I know.
God.
But it's even more than Roaring Kitty.
well, and
way
and,
more
my
than.
and there's
God,
also
50 billion.
and there's
It's
also
just-
like
yeah,
there's
no, you're
there's
right.
SEC laws about like how much you can sell when you blah 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 blah. blah. Like there's
Yeah.
no fucking like he can sell all the Bitcoin right now. There ain't nobody gonna stop him.
Wait. So you're saying if I had $1 billion of a stock, like I can't just sell it?
There's
Depends.
it depends on the
Depends.
percentage. The
Yeah.
for example, if you own more than 5% of a stock, you have to file a specific form
Oh,
with the
okay.
SEC
Yeah.
before
know
you
that.
can sell, and like they have to like
And it can't
make
be-
sure you're not like fucking like
And
because
it
you
can't
can
be
just
news related.
Yeah.
It has to be almost like a random.
Yeah.
Meaning you can't sell prior to earnings if you know the
yeah
earnings are
exactly
bad.
no they won't let you it's like the
Yeah.
quarterly earnings about to
Yeah.
come out and you're like I think I'd like to sell all they're like no
Yeah.
you have to wait
No.
until the public has the same data that you have, especially if
Okay.
you're an insider. Well, especially if you own 5%, you're an insider.
You're an insider. Yeah.
Like you know shit that's
Okay.
going on there.
Right. But with Bitcoin, it's not the case.
No, Bitcoin you sell. I sell tonight.
Also, Bitcoin is not a public company.
Right.
No, yeah,
It's
it's
just
just a coin. It's nothing.
It's owned by
It's
everybody.
nothing. Yeah. So today, Bitcoin is nearly at $70,000 per Bitcoin. It has an average daily trading volume of almost $30 billion
It's fucking crazy.
every day.
It's like insane.
With only 21 million coins ever to be in existence, it rivals gold because there's a scarcity of it.
Mhm.
And so there we go. I mean, the concept is that the scarcity continues.
Yeah.
And that's why it continues to
It continues to grow.
And
There's less of it every day.
yeah. So there's no possibility of printing more. So in theory, there's no reason why it shouldn't keep going up
Forever.
forever.
Ad infinitum.
That's
So
true.
I have many questions.
Yes.
I have many questions. One, Satoshi Nakamoto. Who is he? Where is he? And what happened?
Okay.
Well, there's a theory that I thought was really interesting, and I'm bringing this up now because it might tie into who Satoshi is.
Okay.
I forget who said this, but it was like, in essence, the governments created Bitcoin to create a distrust of the true financial markets and true assets and true true money. Get everyone interested in this so that they can just own everything. And by the time it fucking tanks out or fails and people want to go back, they literally own everything that's of actual value. They own. They tricking you into thinking that this thing it could be valuable with the concept of it being, obviously people are going to gravitate to, oh, it's decentralized, oh, it's anonymity, all this stuff, get you to do that, knowing that at any point in time they can just pull the plug on it or just like make it fucking bullshit. And then
Oh, I hope not. That's so dark.
I know I'm saying it's a dark theory. It's a dark theory. It's like, cool, we create this to create distrust in the financial markets so that the financial markets can be, because obviously the financial markets, the big thing is that people can be owners of all of these institutions, and that you could have a say, and you have voting rights.
It's controlled.
But if you then get all the regular fucking Joe Schmoes out, then it's just only fucking controlled by all the people who are on the ins. You try to get back in, it's like, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get back in at a premium? So I thought that was an interesting theory. Granted, that was like a super long play. It's like a 14-year play.
We did talk when we did the Rockefellers episode. Remember we talked about long plays?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, they were all about. They were like
Oh,
generational
I'm
plays.
thinking
they're
like-
thinking like for my grandkids.
I
bro.
can only think until like maybe August.
That's too far. That's too far for me, bro.
They're like thinking, oh.
I'm thinking to
decades
next
out,
week.
yeah.
I'm like, next week, am I good?
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna
All right.
make it?
All right.
So I think that maybe Satoshi is just he's a figurehead.
a
He's
pawn.
just part of the system, part of the trial. I think that my personal belief is that Bitcoin was done as a trial to see what would happen, and also as not maybe it kind of evolved into a way to like, oh, okay, now we can manipulate people out. But I think it was a way to test what would happen, because you gotta think of it from their viewpoint. It's like, if someone else does this and it takes off and we're not in control, we're fucked. So let's see what happens. And then they just so happen to create the fucking the gold standard, and they're like, oh, okay. well,
Which government was the one behind it?
Oh, U.S. of course,
Okay.
100%. No, without a question.
Because
That's
this is a global.
it's a global thing, but it started
currency. Can I call it a currency?
Yeah.
but it started
currency, right?
it started in the U.S.
Global digital
Started in
asset.
the
It
US?
started in the U.S.
By a Japanese.
Yeah, well,
Satoshi
Satoshi. It was under the
Nakamoto.
pseudonym Satoshi
Yeah.
Nakamoto,
True,
but it
pseudonym.
started in the U.S. So
Yeah.
that's why I think it's 100% the U.S. government. Because if it wasn't, why would they start it here?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna like, shit. Now it's like fucking like, you would start it in your own country. So that's my.
But if
my
it
theory.
was started by the government like that, you don't think like other governments, like let's say the Chinese government, would have figured that out, and then like
Oh, the
they
Chinese
would
government owns a lot of Bitcoin.
Dude,
exactly.
a lot of countries are buying
Well,
Bitcoin.
actually, but that's actually that's actually bad. If it was the U.S.
I
government,
think, but I
right?
think
It's bad for us because they're owning all that shit. It's
No,
like
but-
it's like
no,
gold and
no,
the
it's
steel.
not, because if
Oh,
they
it's not?
actually own it, all they need to do is like activate Satoshi's wallet, dump it, fucking boo. Imagine, yeah, like remember, like Eric said, imagine if
Dude,
imagine if Satoshi's wallet activated and he dumped all of it.
Right.
The trust in Bitcoin would just vanish, and then
So
everyone
it would
dumps it,
vanish,
and
it'd
then
be over.
and all the money that China and
So
all
is
these other
that-
countries
it'll be
dumped is all
over.
worth zero.
So is that
Over.
part of the strategy?
Maybe
Like,
it is. Get everyone, buy it all, dump it.
Dude,
Dump it, crash
Fucking
it,
cr-
like,
oh,
and
fuck
now
it.
everybody's
Got 'em.
broke,
And
which
then-
we can control even more now.
Oh, dude, what if they bump it up? They cash out Satoshi's thing. They're like, sweet, we just got like a couple $100 billion, dope. And then everyone else dies,
Oh,
and then we're
so
like,
dark.
yeah.
So scary because nowadays all the big players are in Bitcoin. Like all the big money.
Yeah, I was gonna
people
say
are-
that we
are
didn't even
into
get
it
into the fact that now, okay, so it started off as like the black sheep of the financial
Yeah.
markets, but nowadays all the hedge funds and all these like
They're
big
in.
institutional
There's
banks,
ETFs.
they
There's
got
all
into this
sorts of
thing
stuff.
called ETFs, which stands for electronic traded funds, which just basically means it's like a created stock that
Yeah.
invests in Bitcoin, but you
Yeah.
can buy into shares
Yeah.
of that,
You're
right?
A little bit sheltered, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
point is like they're all making money, and so now it just normalizes it even more.
Right.
This is a hard one, honestly. Like
I
this
know.
is there's, but
So
if I had to say
first
something,
off,
okay,
Satoshi,
yeah.
the guy.
There's
There's
first question was
emails.
who is he? Does he exist,
There's
etc.
emails from him. There's the guy. He created it.
Oh, if somebody sends an email, they have to be real.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on.
I know, but I'm
That's
just
so
saying.
loose.
I'm just saying it is a persona.
And there's like
It's a-
3
Well,
emails
it's
from him.
that's what it is.
Somebody-
It's a persona. I don't
Somebody
think
created it.
I don't think it was a real person.
No, I don't
I-
No?
oh, no.
No.
Oh God.
I think that my theory would have to be around like that the government was behind that because of the whole. You remember I mentioned Amero, and there was a time that there was
They
some.
were
push
thinking
for
about it. There was-
digital-
Yeah, there was a
digital.
push for this whole digital currency. Now, if you think about it, like we do credit cards, that's already digital currency, right?
Yeah.
So we're already kind of used to that,
Zelle.
but
Mhm.
they don't
Cash
contr-
App.
they don't really control everything.
No.
Not fully,
Yeah.
right? So then, okay, so if we come out with this other thing that's supposed to be anti-government, right? But if they're behind it, they keep the control, and now
Yeah.
they're able to roll
And
out
people
a
think
world.
they have control. They're like, I'm in control, and they're
Exactly.
like, yeah, you
But
are.
now
You're
it's not just
doing
an
it.
Amero, which was supposed to be Canada.
It was just North American Union. So
No,
Canada,
North
Mexico,
America.
Canada, Mexico, and
America's
US.
like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, but now
We're good.
Nah.
Sorry, Canada.
Mexico.
They're like, how much the peso worth? We're good.
We're good.
It's kind of like it's probably like England did in the European Union. They're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We're sick of paying for all your shit. We're out of here.
We can keep it with the sterling pound.
I know.
But now it's actually not just that. Now they went global with this shit, and so now we get
And it
into
failed.
the
The
big.
euro.
No,
Or
I'm
the
talking about
Amero.
Bitcoin.
No, I know, but
Oh, the
Amero
Amero
right?
failed.
Yeah.
The Amero
Yeah,
failed. So
yeah.
that's why I'm saying they came up with this strategy,
Mm.
so that thinking long term, the very
I
long
see.
game, because everything has to be so like gradient, little
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
little,
little nugget.
little by
That's
little.
a C. That's
Yeah.
a C. Like that's that long term play.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can control mass populations. It has to be
Billions
little
of
by
fucking
little. Otherwise, if it's too drastic, then
That's when you get you get
you get
usurped.
the revolution.
Yeah, you get revolutions. Like they
Yeah.
fucking hang you in the fucking courtyard.
You get COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. Sorry.
Ah!
For
let me-
real,
let me
like
tell
think
you
about
mine.
that. Like
Yeah.
versus
Alright.
stay
No,
home.
sure.
Then it's like, oh, you got to do 6
know.
feet. Oh, then
No,
you
I
got to do
know.
a mask.
Yeah.
And it's like
Stay in place. What was it called?
They're gonna do the mirror.
No.
Stay-
What, stay in shelter.
stay safe.
Shelter in place.
Bunker down.
Yeah,
Fun-
I don't
something.
know.
Shadows, yeah, well, some
fucking-
weird thing. I'm like, what?
Which, by the
All
way,
right.
just on that quick thing on that topic, Fauci testified and
Oh,
it was
no, I
like
saw
a
that
whole
now.
bunch of.
He's like, I made it up.
Yeah.
I fucking pulled that shit out of my ass. Now, Eric, what is your take?
At least he's rich.
Yeah.
And not going to prison.
So here's my take on it. I think Satoshi was real. I don't think he was an agent of the government.
Eric's got too much at stake. He
Yeah,
needs him to be real. I need Satoshi to be real.
I think he was born, or he did action out of the 2008 crisis, and he was so mad or upset about the manipulation and the insidious bankers of the world that he created this,
Yeah.
and then he died.
I mean,
He died. He just died. Or was he killed?
No, he just died.
He just
He's
died.
like off that
He
sunset,
just
like
died, and then
Well, you're just assuming that he's like some old dude.
I don't know.
Or maybe
But he
just
died. I don't believe that a human
not
being
take
could
50
not
billion.
do something.
I know.
I
I'd be
know,
like,
right?
oh.
Something.
I know.
Like even look at Roaring Kitty.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll sell a little
He
bit.
came
it's
back.
like a taste.
He came back after 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no reason he didn't need to do that.
No, he
No.
didn't do.
Yeah. And I dig the guy. I think he's cool. But Satoshi didn't.
Especially when it
Right.
became
And
like the
it's
biggest
100 times bigger.
100
Yes.
million times bigger.
Yes.
Jesus.
So I think he just died. And then I think
Okay.
this is a self-created thing. And then
I want to believe what
and
they're
then the
saying.
governments
I really do.
Now the governments are going, holy shit, what if this goes to $1 million?
Oh, they're like, we got to be a part of this.
So as a hedge, we're gonna
they're
hedge
buying.
our
They're
bets.
buying all of it. Yeah, the ETFs
Like
are buying all
BlackRock?
of it, Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
They're
give
gonna
us
be like, give me 10% of it
as much as you got. We'll buy
as
it
a hedge.
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah.
And it's a
Okay.
wild card. It's a fucking wild card.
That's actually a good theory.
it's a wild card.
Actually a good theory.
Yeah. There you go. That's what I got.
What do you guys think?
So you think in the future,
I think it's up to the masses. Honestly, it's a mass. I don't know if it's good or bad. It could be bad
it could say, yeah.
because there's mass
so
hysteria.
one day you're
there's
gonna go to
mass-
fucking you go to Taco Bell and you're gonna pay with your Bitcoin.
or a fork of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bitcoin plus.
I think I think the transaction fees alone are not worth.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
Not worth.
They
it.
haven't got
But-
that. They haven't got that figured out.
Right.
They haven't got that.
But
figured
now
out
it's kind of turned into this weird asset, like a weird like retirement asset, like gold. Like if
Yeah.
you
Right.
you ever
right.
meet
like
like,
hedge.
a dude
You
who's
were
like,
just
yeah,
saying
I
that.
got like 20 grand of silver under my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Same
like,
kind of concept. yeah.
but
But-
you know that gold and silver are never gonna change.
Now there's another
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
another whole thing about it, which is the whole blockchain technology
Right.
and how you can use it just to transfer assets from one person to
Yeah,
another.
that's
So
it's perfect.
so people have sold their house, right?
Fiat,
With this
yeah,
with this
fiat, yeah.
technology.
yeah.
You think that's going to get rolled out in the future?
I think it should.
I think it's
amazing.
already part of our
beautiful.
system now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some of the blockchain contracts are already part of our system. We don't even know it.
Okay.
You know,
Especially with this whole AI rolling out, like it's getting
I mean, you mix
bigger and
blockchain
bigger.
with AI.
Oh man, it's like fucking
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what I do anymore like, for a living.
I just feed the
We're
machine.
just gonna podcast all day and let the AI do
know.
everything for
That's
us.
why we need you as a Patreon. Give us that Patreon,
Please.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're sweating to death.
Yeah.
Please tell us your thoughts. Love to hear back from you guys.
We love it.
And as always, nighty night.